Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Catherine Maideman, and I'm delighted we're in location here at Caligny Plaza, and it's a great day here. Our guest, it's going to be an interesting show. We're going to talk about some education about the ocean. We have also the coronavirus, and we also going to talk to Heather Rath about what's going on in Hilton Head. Our guest, Shawn Colin from the town of Hilton Head Island. We also have Michelle Meissen from the Palmetto Ocean Conservancy, and we have Heather Rath. And we'll be right back with more 843 TV, where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where the Lowcountry comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. And welcome to 843 TV. I am so excited to meet Shawn Colin, who is the Director of Community Development, Recovery Manager of Hilton Head Island. There is a lot on your plate. And so let's talk about a couple of the programs that are being talked about and implemented. Tell me about the recovery plan.
So the town commissioned work from a body of citizens and business leaders several years ago, and they developed a disaster recovery plan to help provide the framework to provide assistance to citizens to Hilton Head in response and recovery from a natural or man-made disaster. In simplest terms, a recovery plan was put in place to try to return the town to pre-event conditions as quickly as possible. And so we're trying to get back to some sense of normalcy and develop the plans to make those things happen. But that's kind of what the recovery plan is all about.
So who, in this, it's a 5-year plan? Tell me a little bit more about this plan to describe it further for us.
Yes, ma'am. The recovery plan is, it's a living document. It's updated every year. We learn from past recent events. We've certainly dealt with hurricanes and tropical storms over the past few years. But we develop personnel assignments each year and modify recovery functions that are needed to be enacted to respond to the particular event. What we've learned with this one is we didn't necessarily have a specific IT support function for previous disasters, and have identified that as a critical need here with remote work, virtual meetings, and other things. So the plan is updated each year. Normally it's updated in preparation for the hurricane season, which starts June 1st. So we've modified it for COVID, but it remains in place for other disasters.
Right. So who would be using this resources? Where is the funding going towards?
So when we get to funding, the town has looked to try to be creative in distributing funding that it can. There's some limitations about providing direct assistance to citizens. But the town did identify an opportunity through the Community Development Block Grant Program. Authorization through the CARES Act allowed supplemental funding through that program. We've received $140,000 in supplemental COVID-19 funding through CDBG. And the CARES Act also changed what we could do with our fiscal 2020 CDBG funding. It can all be used for COVID prevention, preparation for, or response to. And so our council last night authorized or approved our 5-year consolidated plan for CDBG, and also a 1-year plan to use that money for COVID response. We've developed a partnership with the Community Foundation of the Lowcountry, and once HUD approves the plan, we need to submit that to them here today, but once HUD approves the plan at the federal level, we can request a release for funds and then begin distribution to the Community Foundation. Their plan is to administer a grant program for local nonprofits that serve low to moderate income clientele here locally on Hilton Head. So total, our council authorization is about $378,000 that we can provide funding here locally to the local community in need.
Wow, that's really interesting. I mean, it's just nice to know that we're protecting, our residents and our community. A little bit different, I want to know, is like we've had our hurricanes, right?
Yes,
so what's the difference between this plan and recovering from a hurricane? Again, our businesses have shut down. We need to open up again. So what's anything details difference?
Well, the event is certainly different. we drive ourselves crazy with hurricanes, watching the track and the change in the path and so forth. But we have a pretty good certainty of when it's going to hit, and an idea of potential damage, and then a day or two after the event, it's through, and we kind of assess and know how to respond. After Hurricane Matthew, there was a lot of debris that needed to be picked up. We implemented emergency permitting, and it was more about reestablishing the community and the physical infrastructure, roadways and buildings that were damaged. With this, it's more operational.
Yep.
You know, I think that businesses, governments, and citizens are going to change the way that they behave, and how their business model would change with remote work, you know, trying to limit large crowds and so forth. So it's about operational changes.
Right.
We also, with a hurricane, once it's through, you hope you don't get another one.
Right.
And so with this COVID, we want to make sure that don't put ourselves in a position where we have another spike.
Right.
So we're trying to move forward to open and reopen and provide services across all sectors, but to protect the public as well.
I think it's a daily assessment. You know, you look at who's been affected, the hospitals, how many people have in the hospital with the COVID-19, and what we have to do to protect everybody here. So let me ask you this, the Business Resource Directive, give me some more details about that.
So another application that the town has developed is to help provide assistance to local businesses. So as the governor has eliminated restrictions on local businesses for outdoor dining and restaurants, indoor dining, and then some other close contact businesses open up next week, the town has developed a business resource directory. Local businesses can provide information through an online survey. That information is captured, and it provides specific details on hours of operation, any restrictions that they may have, or any special considerations. Like I mentioned, if it's outdoor dining only at a facility, they would be able to find that information.
Right, and they can find the details on the website and all
Yes, ma'am.
that. So I think that's a great resource for us. Well, I want to thank you so much, Shawn, for joining us, and please keep up the good work. Thank you for all the long hours.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And we'll be right back with more 843 TV.